Hello and welcome to KOREHUB. I'm Dr. Fakat Kazmi. Today we are diving into the fantastic world of hierarchical clusters. Let's get started. What is clustering? Clustering is the process of grouping objects that are similar to each other. It's widely used in areas like customer segmentation, social network analysis, and city planning. For example, if you are planning a trip to 20 places in 4 days, you can use clustering to group nearby locations together, making your travel more efficient. Types of clustering. There are two main types of clustering, hierarchical and partitional. Hierarchical clustering forms a tree-like structure called dendrogram, while partitional clustering, like k-means, divides data into performed clusters without a hierarchy. In hierarchical clustering, we have two approaches, agglomerative and divisive. Agglomerative clustering starts with individual elements and merges them into clusters bottom up, whereas divisive clustering starts with one large cluster and split into smaller one top down. How hierarchical clustering works. Hierarchical clustering separates data based on similarity. For instance, if we have a set of cars, we could first group them into sedans and SUVs and then combine them into one cluster. Agglomerative clustering. Agglomerative clustering begins with each data point as its own cluster. We then merge them to closest cluster step by step until only one cluster remains. Divisive clustering. Divisive clustering starts with one large cluster and splits it until each data point is its own cluster. Measuring distance. To group data points accurately, we need to measure the distance between them. Common distance measures include Euclidean distance, the straight line between 2 points. Squared Euclidean distance, like Euclidean but without taking the square root, simplifying calculations. Manhattan distance, the sum of the absolute differences of their coordinates. Cosine distance, measure the angle between two vectors, useful for high dimensional data. Clustering process. Here is the process for hierarchical clustering. Number 1. Start with individual clusters. Each point is its own cluster. Number 2. Measure distance. Use one of the distance measures to calculate the proximity of clusters. Number 3. Merge closest clusters. Combine the closest clusters step by step. Number 4. From dendrogram, visualize the merging process in a tree structure. Number 5. Terminate, when only one cluster remains or based on a predefined condition. Practical applications. Hierarchical clustering is essential for customer segmentation, social network analysis, and city planning. It helps processes data for data models and discover hidden patterns. Thank you for joining me on this journey through hierarchical clustering.